This is WKYT This Morning.
Well, good morning to you. It is your Wednesday, August 17th, and we are glad you're with us. We're live from Lexington on WKYT, and I'm Bill Bryant. Now at 6 a.m., a man is behind bars this morning after police say he crashed into a Lexington business this morning. More on what police say led to this incident in a very busy area just ahead. With just over 80 days until the presidential election, Donald Trump is once again shaking up his campaign team. And city officials considering making changes that would affect big events that are held in Lexington. More on that possible change and what sparked all the conversation ahead this morning.
On and off thunderstorms back in the forecast today as our first front tries to make its way on through. Possible flooding issues is in the forecast today. This is our first front. The second front brings us much cooler conditions. I'll have that coming up.
And let's get right to the latest news. New this morning, police say a man was taken into custody after he crashed into the side of a Lexington business overnight. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is joining us live from the scene of that with the details this morning. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. It was an eventful morning in the Hamburg area for Lexington police after they spotted a man parked along the sideway on Sir Barton Way. They said they went to chat with him, and that's when he tried to make a getaway. Now, the man, police say, started driving erratically the wrong way down Sir Barton Way, which sits between Winchester Road and Man o' War Boulevard. Now, police say they didn't chase him, but did follow him until he crashed into an office building. That's where police got out of their cruisers and had to bust through the driver's side window to keep him from going any further. You can see here damage done from the crash, pretty minor damage. Now police believe the man was under the influence of something. We still don't know that man's name or what charges, if any, he'll face. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
All right, Caitlin, thank you. So a lot more questions to be answered there. And also new on WKYT this morning, police are looking into two overnight robberies at separate Lexington gas stations, trying to figure out if they're related. The first happened just after 11 at the Shell station on New Circle Road near Russell Cave Road. Police say the suspect used a gun to steal cash before taking off in a car driven by an unidentified driver. That vehicle described as gold in color. About 2 hours later, police say the speedway on Paris Pike near the interstate was also robbed. We're told it was the same scenario as the first robbery. An armed suspect stole some cash and then ran out of the store. Police say it is still unclear if the two robberies are connected. Developing news from the campaign trail this morning. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is once again shaking up his campaign. Our Sean Moody is at our alert desk with details on that. Sean?
Yeah, Bill, these changes come after a Washington Post poll on Tuesday showed Trump and running mate Mike Pence trailing Hillary Clinton and her running mate Tim Kaine by 14 points in Virginia. This is the second time this summer he's made big changes at the upper levels of his campaign. Donald Trump called his campaign's new CEO and campaign manager winners and champs, saying he's known them for a long time. With 82 days until Election Day, Trump made Breitbart News' Stephen Bannon CEO and promoted pollster Kellyanne Conway to campaign manager. He called them both big people who can help him beat Hillary Clinton. Now, back in June, Trump fired campaign manager Corey Lewandowski. Paul Manafort took over for him as campaign chairman and will continue on in that role. Trump also told a Wisconsin television station yesterday that he doesn't want his campaign to change its tone. Some Republicans have said they want Trump to pivot his approach for the general election. Trump said he is who he is. He said, quote, "If you start pivoting, you're not being honest with people," end quote. The campaign also said it would start airing its first ads of the general election season starting next week in Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Bill, back to you.
All right, Sean Moody, thank you very much. Just over 80 days to go in this wild election year. Thank you. Police believe that recent textbook thefts at 3 Kentucky universities could all be connected. In recent weeks, investigators say books have been stolen from offices at the University of Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky University, and Morehead State University. UK officials think a well-organized group of thieves broke into the offices of the College of Nursing building over the weekend and stole books there. And they say this theft is similar to others elsewhere on campus earlier in the summer.
Textbooks are a valuable commodity. I'm sure there's a market out there for that kind of thing. Textbooks are quite valuable, can be expensive, and so those would be the kinds of valuables along with other things that you would think about that ought to be locked down before you leave for the night.
Morehead State University police say they have had 5 reports of textbook thefts recently. They say they have a suspect in the case. And EKU officials in Richmond say some textbooks were stolen from their campus earlier this summer as well. Family members of a man killed in an officer-involved shooting in eastern Kentucky say police still have not given them answers about what led to his death. Police say a Lexington fire investigator shot Mark Sawaf last week in Harlan County. Sawaf was arrested in June after investigators say he placed explosives in trail cameras. But police brought Sawaf from jail back to Harlan County to look for those cameras with explosives. The ATF and firefighters were helping out, and police say Sawaf was shot after he tried to escape and fought with them. But Sawaf's friends and family say they believe he was being cooperative all along.
He was handcuffed. They took him into the woods. He was showing where these devices were, and he never came out alive.
Family members say they have tried asking police for answers, but police say they are still interviewing witnesses and will release more information when the investigation is complete. Well, city officials are considering making changes to the permitting process for special events held in Lexington. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, Lexington officials are looking at a proposal that would require a permit for any event that would draw at least 50 people and would require at least 2 city services. The discussion comes after a Luke Bryan concert at Talon Winery last fall caused massive traffic backups on Tates Creek Road. The winery was allowed to have the concert because a planning rule allows wineries to have special events without alerting city officials. We have an update this morning about a dog that was rescued from a trail in Powell County. Powell County Search and Rescue says that German Shepherd named Axel suffered heat exhaustion while walking with his owner on Sunday and fell down an embankment. Some other hikers helped carry that dog 3 miles to safety and some hydration. Powell County Search and Rescue says the owner told them that Axel is now at home and appears to be fully recovered and doing just fine. So Axel, don't overdo it next time.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, we have some pretty heavy rain back toward the western areas, sliding up the BG Parkway. It's going to be affecting Highway 68, 150 as you travel off into Washington County, Willisburg, Mackville, Springfield, those areas. Here coming up very shortly, so just keep in mind if you're about to walk out the door, I'd walk out now. Just go ahead and beat the rain because it's on its way. Bardstown, you are next in line too. If you're not already seeing at least a few sprinkles. Let's zoom on in. Here's the look. And look, I do believe southern areas of this system, this complex, will actually clip Lexington. We'll actually get some here in Lexington within about an hour, roughly an hour or so. And the Bluegrass Parkway is going to be absolutely soaked heading toward E-Town. Go to 64, already seeing some light rain falling in Frankfort area and Peaks Mill. Go back towards Simpsonville, Shelbyville, those areas, picking up on some rain. Lawrenceburg, you're about to get in on the mix, at least with a little rain, and then the heaviest rain still back west of you. The heaviest rain doesn't really begin in Lawrenceburg here, I would say about 30-45 minutes. So my friends there in Lawrenceburg, my friends in Bardstown, heads up, and some heavy rain sliding on in. But here's the hour-by-hour forecast, 80 degrees by the afternoon. And we're holding on to some of those showers and thunderstorms. This is the first batch. We're going to have on and off showers and thunderstorms throughout your day. So it's really, really hard to plan on when you can get out and about and try to knock out some of these errands, some of these plans. It's going to be a wet go at it for a lot of commuters, especially I-75 westbound for this morning, and those kids going off to the bus stop. The farther west you are, yeah, it could be a little sloppy, so keep that in mind, parents. Looking toward the afternoon tomorrow, here's Thursday, not today. Thursday is really 64 southbound with the best chance of rain. So it's not as great of a chance, but the chance is still there at about 40%, and that's going to be the same story there for your Friday, too. Friday is pretty much the same percentage. It's just a little bit of more scattered out and about. Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. This is where things change. The front moving us over us right now is the first front. The second front comes late into the weekend into early next week, and that is your cold front. That is going to be a blast of cooler air and much less humid air, and that's the big key here during the summer months. We still have a month left to go. in summer, and we're already getting this nice little shot at some cooler air, a nice shot at fall, early taste of fall. And there's some good news for us in the 7 day.
Going to feel like football weather, right?
Football weather. I can't wait for that.
Exciting.
Man, bring it on.
It's going to be real nice. All right,
right,
Micah, thank you. Some rain to get through before that. Our time this morning is now 6:10, and every morning we bring you weather and traffic together right here so we get you going. And here is Officer Don with a look at what's happening out there on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. We'll just check Tates Creek Road. That stalled car that we're dealing with around Tates Creek and Wilson Downing has been cleared, so all lanes are open. Tates Creek is wide open for the moment. Let's get a look outside. We'll show you overall traffic picture this morning and what we can expect as far as traffic flow goes around the city, on the inner and outer loops of the circle, and on the interstate. We're good to go. And a quick look outside, courtesy Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, shows it's pretty much all clear right now inbound there as we look at Leestown and Town Center Drive. So we'll keep you up to date throughout the morning as we're waiting for the rain to come and see how that's going to impact driving conditions for the rush hour. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, could be a factor, certainly. And Officer Don and Deanna are on 98.1 The Bull when you get in your car, so tune them in as you can have some fun on your way into work or school. And more news is coming up on WKYT this morning. More than 80,000 people have been forced from their homes as crews continue to battle a massive wildfire that's burning in Southern California. But more on the efforts to contain the blaze, the very latest, when we come right back. Good morning. Welcome back in WKYT this morning. We're live from Lexington here on your Wednesday, and we're about to hit 6:15. Firefighters in Southern California are trying to get the upper hand against a fast-moving wildfire that has chased more than 82,000 people from their homes. The Blue Cut fire exploded in size in San Bernardino's Cajun Pass on Tuesday morning and is nowhere near contained. Erica Notchlin has the latest from California.
The raging flames tore through parts of San Bernardino County overnight, scorching acres of land and reducing structures to rubble. Fire crews worked into the night to keep the blaze from reaching more homes, ordering residents in the area to evacuate immediately.
This fire is aggressive. We're seeing some very erratic fire behavior. Get out so that we can focus on working on this fire versus rescuing citizens.
The so-called Blue Cut fire ignited Tuesday morning near Interstate 15 in the Cajon Pass. Despite efforts to contain the blaze from the air and ground, the fire expanded in size and intensity in a matter of hours. As night fell, the historic Summit Inn, a popular diner, was among structures that burned to the ground. Here in the high desert town of Phelan along Highway 138, you can see home after home charred to their foundations. Laura Anderson was driven from her home in the area yesterday and is still unsure if it's still standing.
Well, you can imagine terror and sadness and concern.
The fire caused traffic backups for miles as the area's main highway was shut down. Many drivers were left sweltering in their cars in triple-digit temps.
We need cold water and little food. And I don't know how long we can go home, you know.
Hot and dry California has been plagued by wildfires for months. Fire officials are hoping lighter winds and cooler temperatures will help them get the Blue Cut fire under control. Erica Notchlin for CBS News, Phelan, California.
And in Northern California, fire crews have gained some ground against the Clayton fire, saying it has burned 4,000 acres and is now about 35% contained. The fire started over the weekend and destroyed 175 homes and businesses. Authorities in Louisiana are assessing the damage following deadly flooding that's continuing there. The death toll has increased now to 10. And the water is expected to continue to rise in some parts of the state and put more homes in danger. The deadly floods have forced thousands of evacuations and triggered the largest disaster response in the United States since Hurricane Sandy. Taylor Swift is doing her part to help with flood relief in Louisiana. The pop superstar plans to donate $1 million to help the thousands of flood victims who lost everything in the historic flooding. Swift tells the Associated Press that Louisiana residents graciously welcomed her when she kicked off U.S. dates of her 1989 world tour in that state last year. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump is set to receive his first intelligence briefing at the FBI's office in New York City today. The Republican nominee continued to paint himself as the law and order candidate in Wisconsin yesterday, calling recent unrest in the Milwaukee area an assault on law-abiding citizens. A Monmouth University poll released late yesterday shows Hillary Clinton leading Trump in key states, including Florida and Virginia. Conservative political commentator John McLaughlin has died. McLaughlin was the host of the long-running syndicated TV show, The McLaughlin Group. That show debuted back in 1982. He had never missed a show until last weekend. McLaughlin was 89 years old. Emergency responders say 2 workers were able to safely escape from a scaffold that was dangling from a downtown Cincinnati high-rise. Police say they were able to climb out onto a lower roof. The workers were about 20 stories up on the 27-story U.S. Bank Tower when their scaffolding came loose. No one was injured in that. Some harrowing moments, no doubt. Investigators are not sure what caused it to collapse. Retail giant Victoria's Secret is changing up their normal sales pitch, and Swiss researchers are looking to see if money helps people stop smoking. Jill Wagner takes a closer look with the latest on your money.
Stocks are pulling back a bit after reaching new record highs earlier this week. The Dow fell 84 points on Tuesday. The Nasdaq fell 34. Univision is reportedly buying Gawker Media for $135 million. Gawker went up for auction after bankrupting itself, paying legal fees to fight Hulk Hogan's sex tape lawsuit. The Spanish-language Univision is trying to expand its digital footprint and appeal to millennials. Paying poor smokers to quit might just work. Swiss researchers say 44% of those in a pay-to-quit program had stopped smoking cigarettes after 3 months. Among those who weren't paid, only 6% quit. And Victoria's Secret is switching gears from sexy lingerie to sexy sports bras. It's part of a plan to boost slowing sales and cash in on the athleisure trend, wearing workout clothes all day long. Ads show models hitting punching bags and jumping rope. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, follow me on Twitter at Jill Wagner CBS. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jill Wagner.
Some interesting trends there. Good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. We're just getting started, getting you right up to the minute on the latest news on your Wednesday. All right, you don't hear this often. An adorable squid discovered by researchers going viral for its unique appearance. We'll have a closer look at this one-of-a-kind discovery when we come back on WKYT This Morning.
And we're looking at the high-resolution model. Stormy conditions are on their way. We're going to have the timeline on this coming up next.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. We're glad you're with us on your Wednesday. The time right now about to hit 6:24, up and at it. Police say a Lexington business was left with some minor damage after being hit by a car early this morning. That's what's trending at this hour. Still some questions over there. Police say the driver is facing charges following the crash. We're told the police first noticed the man parked on the sidewalk along Sir Barton Way right there in Hamburg. When they asked him to get out, the man took off and ended up going the wrong way on the road and hitting that nearby business. Quick check of your weather forecast for today. Here is meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, a few blips over toward eastern Kentucky, nothing to be concerned about. That's why I'm focusing in on the bulk of the action back toward western zones. Boy, the BG Parkway is going to be absolutely soaked now. Bardstown, now Nelson County, really soaked at the moment. Lawrenceburg, you're about to get in on the mix, my friends there, and Springfield, you're about to at least get clipped by some pretty heavy rain. No doubt about it, Willisburg, you will get hit by some pretty heavy rain here in just about 20-30 minutes. And then that goes down toward Greene County, Taylor County. You guys are next in line. 68 is going to be very wet. Bluegrass Parkway, 64. Heading from Lexington to Louisville or Lexington to Frankfort, it's going to be pretty wet this morning. Lexington more than likely will get in on the action here in about an hour to an hour and a half. And that's going to be the case as we travel off towards your afternoon too, because this is not the only rain that we have for today. It goes on and off pretty much all day long. Bill, we're going to be discussing that coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see that shortly, and we look forward to those improvements coming early next week. You know, there's some bizarre stuff at the bottom of the ocean, but a recent sea exploration proved that there is some mighty cute stuff down there as well. All right, get ready to fall in love with Stubby. Look at him there, a googly-eyed squid who looks more like a Muppet than a sea creature. Stubby's debut was captured by researchers who were live streaming an expedition of the ocean floor off California's coast. All of a sudden, they came upon him. The scientists encountered a few other weird specimens during the expedition, but Stubby definitely stole the show, no doubt about it. That is really neat. And speaking of stealing the show, check out this electric delivery van. It shows off some impressive speed. This electric van absolutely destroyed a Dodge Viper in a quarter-mile drag race. The video posted by electric automaker Ativa shows the cargo van pull 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, and it leaves the Viper and the BMW in its dust. The experiment left doubters of electric vehicles, well, shocked by what they saw. That is really impressive. So we'll see if that is the future. 6:26 this morning on WKYT. All right, our news team busy getting ready to update you on all of our top stories. When we come back this morning, Lexington Catholic High School is now facing a trio of lawsuits this morning. We'll have a closer look coming up at 6:30. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $94 million. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is now $61 million. We're coming right back on WKYT.